Okay, let's back up to why am I thinking about domain names and 1-900 numbers and all of that?
Right.
I was very fascinated early on with the guy who bought the phone number 1-800-Flowers. If you research his background and what he did, he was nothing. He was really nothing. He sold flowers and he said, if I own that name, that phone number, I'm going to make a lot of money. And he did. He turned it into many billions of dollars. But if you look at what he did, he had nothing but that name, and he put all his effort, time, and money into people remembering the name. That philosophy stuck with me because that was a very simple, fast way to make a lot of money, which is what we all look for. Very rare, but that's what it was. When they came out with 900 numbers, I said the ultimate 900 number besides weather, besides flowers would be news, weather, sports, and business. I went and I got the phone number 1-900-Weather unlocked from the people who owned it. And when they gave it to me, they realized about a week later they had done that and they took it back. Because the phone number, I didn't tell them what it spelled. I told them, here's the number I want, 932, whatever it is. That name at the time would have been worth many, many, many millions of dollars. I call it the intellectual property lottery. And I consider all of that, whether it's a domain name or a phone number or any other piece of data that someone needs to remember to reach you, mind share, MINDSHARE. And there's a story at the beginning of the book called Mind Share. It's all about, we call it walking through the mind field instead of mind field, because the opportunities, if you get from one to the other and end up with that name, you've put in a little time, effort, and work, but the name's worth a lot of money. And so your marketing at that point goes into the name, and people know what it is. If you go to Cufflinks, I own Cufflinks, and it's a funny niche, but on the internet, it's the perfect little business. So I own cufflinks.com. Summer camps. If you kids went to summer camp, your parents probably, there's a good chance they looked up summercamps.com. And they say statistically that 12 to 14% of people type in the domain name they're looking for.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
So I have, so, that's really interesting. And I have a question around that, right? Because yeah, it seems like a generational thing, right? Some of the older people, they're not as Google search engine savvy. They'll type in the domain name like summercamps.com, right? Whereas people Gen Y and later on they'll Google it, right? Because they know that now there's more niches with summer camps, for example. So they'll Google that name. So
right.
Is that type in strategy still going to work in the future?
I think that the type-in traffic will still be there to some degree for a while to come. There is no question that the more savvy people become, the more search engine savvy they know. But I think there's still a percentage of people, while the internet is growing, that are going to go to a search bar. If they're looking for water bottles, they may type in waterbottle.com because there's a chance that'll be what they want. If they're looking for a phone, they might type in cellphone.com. There's a percentage of people that will do that. So that'll always be there, but it's a small percentage, but that's free business. That's free traffic. We own mutual funds, and I think that's a grand slam that'll be there for a long time because people that go into research and industry are going to always type in that word. Cars.com, computers.com, mutualfunds.com. That's a valuable name. And the reason it's valuable is not just the type-in traffic, people remember it. So if there was ABC Mutual Funds 123, the best mutual funds, or mutualfunds.com, most people are going to remember the mutualfunds.com when they go back to their search engine. Okay. There's a large number of people that type in the .com in the Google toolbar.
Yes, yes.
That's so, for those of you guys that want to play in the domain business, go to a website called Sedo, and I don't own any part of this company, SEDO, and they have a domains for sale. You can see domains that look and sound good, and you can decide, the more you see them and the more you see what they're selling for, geez, that one looks like it could be a good buy. It's just like your parents looking for homes. They look at a list of homes, they go visit the homes, and they figure out which one is the best buy for the bang for the buck, the best money they can spend. It's no different than a domain name. It's which one is going to get you the best return on your investment. Keeping in mind, you still have to build the name into a site, but one niche, one name could be more valuable if you put all your efforts in that, put a good number of efforts in that one basket.
Okay. So, quick question. What is a good amount to spend on a domain name for a starter?
Well, that's a really tricky question, because some domains, I've actually contacted companies that own thousands, and one of them was really valuable. And I said, what would you sell this for? And the lady said to me, I'm really tired of managing it. I'll just give it to you. And it was probably worth 50,000 bucks. And this was 1 year ago. So it still happens. Getting through to them is the hard part. Asking them what they'll sell it for. You say, I'm a teenager, I'm looking to launch a business. That domain name would be really good for me. What would you sell it for? You've got a better chance that they'll either be cheaper than I would buy it for, and 1 out of 100, 1 out of 1,000 might say, you can just have it, young man. You never know. You got to tell them, I'm a teenager or I'm a young adult. I'm starting a site. This is what me and my wife want to do. Make it a really good, compelling story and tell them the truth. I say wife for the young adults. And you never know. But the answer to the question is based on the market. If you really want to research the value of a domain name, type in domain name values. Or there are sites that value assets like domain names, and they help you think through the questions. How easy is it to remember? How many characters is it? Is it a big industry? The biggest question is, how much does a client pay per click? So in the mutual fund space, a click costs like $2 or $3. Whereas in business, it might only be 20 cents. But the business category gets 10,000 more clicks than the mutual funds category. So it's a combination of a lot of questions. And then after all that, it's a dart. But the more you know, the more you'll understand. Yep. And the more you know and the more you understand, the more you'll figure out that one looks like a good buy. Now, what you can also do is buy one and flip it. Buy a name for $100 or $200 and flip it for $500 or $1,000. That's pretty easy to do. You can do that on a daily basis. And for any of your kids that do it, I want to know so I can put them in the next book.
Will do.
There are a lot of people that do that, and they do it a lot for a living. They learn this is a hot market. There's a lot of people that want to learn about it. They buy a name and they stick it on eBay, and they say, this is a hot market. It's going to be really hot. The name I've got is ABC Cufflinks. And now that all the guys are wearing cufflinks, I think this is a good name. I paid $300. I'll sell it for $4, even though you paid $100.
All right. So Mark, let's get into your book a little bit. There it is. Get Rich Click. So why the book?
I want to teach other people how to do this. It really isn't that hard. My dad is a professor. My sister's a professor. I like to teach just as they do, but I have so much information about how to make money online, from domain names to websites to affiliate marketing to lead generation to pay-per-click to how to get more traffic to search engine optimization. It was kind of obvious. Everyone asked me, how can I get rich? How do I do what you do? And I decided I'm going to write a book because it's not that complicated stuff. I don't know, like your guys watching this, I don't know how to create a website. I don't know how to do the internet marketing. I know marketing in general, and I know PR in general. This is PR. I'm trying to get the word out about the book. And I believe if I teach you guys how to do this, and you read this book, and you go, oh my God, I made $1,000 this week because of that book, you're going to tell all your friends, read this book. It's amazing. Because the younger generation has figured out there's so much wealth to get with the knowledge that you have that you can share it. My generation, a lot of them think, wow, I know this, but I can't tell anybody because I don't want them to do it too. That's ridiculous, because there's a big market to make money online, and we haven't hit this much of it.
So I read that the book's taking 5 years to research and
Yeah.
write. Why so
Yeah.
long?
Because I stopped and I started and I researched and I'd find more things, and then I'd find something new. I'd find cool apps I want to put in there, and by the time I'd write it up, the app would be a new generation. It just took a long time to get it done because I do run other companies, and the information, you know, the layout in the book, it's every page is very, very clean. You know, it's not like solid writing. You know, all throughout the book, it's real color. It's 2-color. It's laid out. It's designed. It's not just what's called pagination. You don't just hit a button and send the book out. I wanted it to look good, to be an easy read, to take complicated information and make it understandable, so that anyone at any level that could have any understanding of what's going on could make a lot of money quickly by reading it and understanding the principles that are in the book. You still have to work, but I'm going to tell you which way to work to be smarter, quicker, which is the goal.